Now, with so many different companies producing great smartphones, the top two companies, which is still very well known to be at the very top, of course, is Samsung and Apple. So in this video, I'll be doing a comparison between the latest Samsung's flagship phone, the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, and the latest Apple iPhone 8 Plus, so keep watching. Hey, what's up guys, Adam Lobo here and you're watching Adam Lobo TV. If you guys are new, welcome to my channel. Do consider subscribing to my channel as I release high quality tech videos every single week, which is super duper honest as I mentioned previously. And if you're returning as a subscriber, welcome back and let's
get ready to rumble!
Now first and foremost, before you guys ask, yes, I still stand on how I think the iPhone 10 is not worth your money, and I even created a video on why I don't recommend you guys getting the device, which I will link down below, and that's the reason why I've choose the iPhone 8 Plus, which almost has the same capabilities of the iPhone 10, although it's still higher in price than the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, but it's definitely worth the price than the iPhone 10. Now in this comparison video, once again, it will be based on a real-time usage, not every single features of the phone, where I'll be divided into my personal distinguished categories such as hardware, where I go through the designs, buttons and port; software, where I'll highlight the performance, multitasking, internet data speed test and the security features. I won't be covering on the operating system since it's using iOS and also Android, and that is a personal preference; display, the comparison on which is brighter and more pleasing to look at; battery, and this will be based on my personal usage for both of the phones for the past week; and of course camera, where I'll give you the comparison for both of the front and the back camera according to the video and photo capabilities; audio, from testing the stereo speakers and the audio recordings for both; and last but not least is the value, where is the total value of the phone, especially in what comes inside of the box together with each of the phones. Now in terms of the complete specs for each one of the phones, I will list it down below so you can get a pure detailed written comparison, so don't forget to check that out. Starting from hardware, the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus comes with a very nice curved design glass back. It has wireless charging and it definitely looks like a newly released flagship phone for 2018 with its slick and slim form factor. It also has an SD card slot, a headphone spot, a Bixby button, but of course you can't remap that, but you can disable it if you want to, and of course the new fingerprint scanning placement is great and readjusted for the S9 Plus, and it can also be configured as a notification scroll as well. Now as for the iPhone 8 Plus, it has a more outdated design, where the design goes way back looking exactly like the iPhone 6 Plus, just that the camera looks different. That's it. It also has a camera bump, which I still think is something that phones in general needs to work on, as it wobbles on the table if you lay the phone down flat. It has a glass back like the Samsung S9 Plus with wireless charging capabilities, and yes, the iPhone 8 Plus fast charging can also work with the Samsung wireless pad, so that is great. However, there's no headphones jack, there's no external OSD card slot. Now the fingerprint scanner for the iPhone 8 Plus is in front, and it unlocks the screen the same speed of the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, so that is great. The button placement for both of the phones are quite similar, but one thing nice that Apple did was to include a mute button to easily switch the phone to silent mode, so I'm still hoping for Samsung to still allow us to remap the Bixby button to make that button to have other personalized controls instead. In terms of the overall size, it's almost the same, where the iPhone 8 Plus is slightly just thinner, and it could be because of the absence of the headphone spot. It is a hairline wider as well. Now in terms of software, as mentioned, I'm not going to say which is better, since using the iOS and the Android system seems to be more of a personal choice, and during my test of both of the phones, overall there were no issues in performance and multitaskings for both of the phone, and even at a lower RAM of 3 gigs on the iPhone 8 Plus compared to the 6 gigs of RAM on the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. I didn't want to do any benchmark tests for the performance since the specs are way different as mentioned earlier, but I did do a test for the internet speed, and testing through the O-Class speed test, the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus was way faster with 26.4 Mbps download speed and 11.1 Mbps on the upload speed. As for the iPhone 8 Plus, it was only at 13.4 Mbps download speed and at 8.83 Mbps on the upload speed. Now, some people have mentioned about how Bixby is totally useless, but for me, I do use the Bixby Vision very frequently, especially when I'm traveling to a foreign country. Now, Siri on the iPhone 8 Plus is still nothing new, it still works as it is, and even with the latest WWDC, there's still no significant updates or upgrades on that. In terms of the security unlocking features, the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus has way more features such as the iris scanner, face unlock, fingerprint reader, pattern, and of course a pin unlock. Now, while the iris scanner and the face unlock may not be as fast as the fingerprint reader, but it's still great to have those options compared to the iPhone 8 Plus, where it just has the fingerprint reader and the pin unlock, and there's no Face ID like how the iPhone 10 has. Now, although there are third-party apps which works almost the same, but it's not as good. In terms of display, the iPhone 8 Plus uses a LED backlight IPS LCD display compared to Samsung's Super AMOLED display, which by the looks of it, you can see it looks so much better. The iPhone 8 Plus has a 5.5-inch display versus the 5.8-inch for the S9 Plus, and the Samsung S9 Plus has obviously a higher screen-to-body ratio at 83.6% versus a mere 67.4%. The S9 Plus has a slightly brighter screen with both of the devices' screen brightness at 50%, and the S9 Plus to me has a nicer viewing experience when consuming video, and although the iPhone 8 Plus has a True Tone display, but you can be the judge of that. As for battery life, the battery capacity for the S9 Plus is larger at 3500 mAh of battery, where the iPhone 8 Plus has 2691 mAh. Now, the iPhone 8 Plus had me charging the phone at about 5 PM after my usual cardio routine from 9 AM with 30 minutes of YouTube video consumption, Spotify, and Wrice usage on the phone throughout the day. Where I did the same with the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, and it got me charging at about 8 PM with heavy use. Now, in terms of camera, both phones has 12 megapixels. The S9 Plus has a dual lens system with a variable aperture of f1.5 to f2.4 for the primary camera. It takes better low light pictures because of the f1.5 aperture compared to the f1.8 on the iPhone 8 Plus. Both has a telephoto lens and 2x optical zoom in pictures. Now, pictures on the S9 Plus are more saturated as predicted. When doing a side-to-side comparison, the picture seems to be a bit more exposed as the iPhone 8 Plus seems to become a bit darker depending on the amount of light available. And of course, the S9 Plus gives you the adjustments of the blurred background even after taking the photo, and the portrait mode is available both for the front but also at the back of the camera, but it's only at the back of the camera for the iPhone 8 Plus. It has an 8 megapixel camera with a f1.7 aperture for the front camera, therefore the selfie pictures are brighter compared to the 7 megapixels f2.2 aperture on the iPhone 8 Plus. And this once again boils down to a personal preference, so for me, I prefer the overall camera and the feature modes available for the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, but you can be the judge of it as well. Now, as for audio, the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus has a slightly brighter and a wider sounding recorded audio as opposed to the slightly softer sound of the iPhone 8 Plus, and here's a test. Alright guys, so this is the front-facing camera of the iPhone 8 Plus, and with this, similar what I did with the previous comparison, I'm going to be comparing the overall audio and of course the front-facing camera's video quality. Alright, switching over to the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, this is the exact video quality of the front-facing camera and of course the audio recording of the front-facing camera, so we'll be making a comparison based on that. Both of the phones have stereo speakers. The sound quality for both of the devices is equally as good in my opinion, so here's another sound test.
You're so far away. I swear that the miles in between are the reasons why we argue. Staring at your face over FaceTime, but yet it's just not the same. I swear that the tears that you cried are ready for an ocean.
And when it comes to the image stabilization for the front camera, the overall video footage looks way more stable on the S9 Plus compared to the iPhone 8 Plus. So the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus definitely wins the vlog battle over here. And the quality for both of the videos at the highest resolution of 4K 60 frames per second looks equally as good as well, with just different color signs for both of the phones. Now the S9 Plus has a super slow-mo feature where it records 720p at 960 frames per second, where the iPhone 8 Plus records a slow-mo of 1080p at 240 frames per second. Now personally for me, I don't really use the slow-mo feature on a day-to-day use, so it does not really matter to me, but it's great that it has that option. And last but not least is the value, and the 64GB version of the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus is currently priced at 3,579 ringgit, and it comes with a clear phone case, a USB fast charging adapter, an OTG USB connector, a micro USB to USB-C converter, a USB-A to USB-C cable, and the EKG wide earphones together with the extra ear tips. And as for the iPhone 8 Plus, it's currently priced at 3,940 ringgit, and it comes with a wired Apple AirPods with a lightning port earphone dongle since there's no headphones jack. There's also the USB to lightning cable and a 3-pin plug adapter which isn't even fast charging. So in terms of value, the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus takes this one, of course, with all the things that you get bundled in the box. Alright guys, that is my personal take and my opinion on the comparison for both of the phones, with all the highlighted comparison on the categories that I've mentioned earlier. So let me know what you guys think. Feel free to give me your answer at the comment section below. Now aside from that, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys found this video helpful to make your purchase decision. If you guys are choosing between both of the phones, please like, share and subscribe to Adam Lobo TV if you haven't done so. Don't forget to hit the bell icon just next to it to get notified for my future videos. Thank you so much for watching. This is Adam Lobo, and I'll catch you guys as usual next week.